Thanks to Jim Avila for that. We're joined now by Florida Senator Marco Rubio. Thanks for joining us this morning. You've been so outspoken this week, Senator Rubio, calling the president's decision inexplicable, absurd, disgraceful. But when you hear those Cubans, those young Cubans say, we want closer ties to the United States, doesn't that give you pause?
I want closer ties with Cuba as well, but those closer ties have to come about as a result of a policy that will also ultimately lead to freedom. And that's my problem with what the president's done here. It's not that I simply want to continue to do what we've been doing. I'm okay with changing policy towards Cuba, but it has to be a policy change that has a reasonable chance of achieving freedom. Freedom for the Cuban people. And I just don't think let me rephrase that. I know that this policy change that the president has now undertaken will not lead to freedom.
How do you know that, though, Senator? What we've seen for the last 50 years is a policy of an embargo, no real ties between the United States and Cuba. It hasn't loosened the Castro regime's hold on the Cuban people at all. And the United States has relations with all kinds of countries that don't meet our democratic standards. China, Saudi Arabia, Russia.
That's exactly my point. We have those policies of normalization towards Vietnam, for example, towards China. They're not any more politically free today than they were when that normalization happened. They may have a bigger economy, but their political freedoms, certainly I would not hold up China or Saudi Arabia or Vietnam as examples of political freedom, proving my point that engagement by itself does not guarantee or even lead to political freedoms. And the Cuban government controls every aspect of their economy. The whole economy is owned and operated by a holding company controlled by Cuban military officials. They will take more travel, they will take more commerce, they will pocket the vast majority of the money that's generated from it, and they intend to follow the model of Vietnam and China, where they can grow their economy, but they do not grow political freedoms. In fact, they repress them.